I don't know if you remember the 2008 federal election. Stephen Harper won it clearly, but he didn't get an outright majority. So immediately, the three opposition parties, the Liberals, the NDP, and the Bloc Québécois, signed a deal. They literally had a written contract signed by all the MPs that they sent to the Governor General saying, we want to form the government, not Stephen Harper. We've got the numbers to do it. It almost posed a constitutional crisis because they hadn't campaigned on this coalition. Technically, I suppose they could form a government. They had the most seats. Well, that was a taste of the lust that the left has for forming government, especially the Liberal Party, which used to call themselves the Natural Governing Party. Imagine the pain they felt being out of power. Well, it's coming up almost on 10 years. Well, we have another federal election coming up in less than 6 months, and the polls show that the Conservatives are still the most likely to win by far. I don't know if they'll win an outright majority, but if things stay on track, they will certainly win the largest number of seats. So naturally, the question returns, will the opposition form a coalition? Will they unite the left? And of course, will they do so before the election and tell voters about it, or will they spring it on voters after the election like they did in 2008? Well, just last week, Justin Trudeau mused about this with the Canadian press, and he certainly left the door open. He said, I'm going to quote him here, he said, maybe, but maybe not. In other words, yeah, he's thinking about it. He suggested that the problem with the coalition was Thomas Mulcair. He just wasn't his kind of guy, which left open the suggestion that maybe Thomas Mulcair could become his kind of guy, or maybe another NDP leader. But it certainly wasn't a no. It was, quote, maybe, but maybe not. Well, this certainly caught the attention of the media, and he was asked to clarify the next day, and he sort of did. Here's a clip of Justin Trudeau scrumming. Now, you'll notice he does not say absolutely no, never, I rule it out, no, 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 no. He says, I do not see it happening. Here, take a look for yourself.
And I do not see any possibility of coalition with the NDP, regardless of who the leader might be.
So you're backing away from the maybe a little bit there.
Well, I don't know. When someone says, what would my political approach be if Mr. Harper wasn't Prime Minister? And I say, well, maybe it would be different.
Yeah, that's another non-denial denial. Well, Justin Trudeau managed to dodge a bullet that time, although I'm sure the Conservatives will raise the specter of a coalition between the NDP and the Liberals and possibly the Bloc again. But Bob Rae is always a chatty fellow, and he was happy to expand on the theme this weekend on a TV show called The West Block. As you know, Bob Rae himself used to be an NDP premier. He crossed over to the Liberals. He temporarily became the Liberal leader of the federal Liberals. He had a coalition with the NDP and the Liberals provincially. He has a foot in both camps. And he's sort of an elder statesman now, so it made sense to ask him about it. And here's what he said.
You're part of the game. Whether you can be held off for 6 months and say, okay, we won't talk about this until after the election, I don't know. But there is a reality, and that is that there will not be a coalition before the election. There was a talk over the years about cooperation between the parties in terms of presenting candidates. There's no prospect of that happening.
So, like Justin Trudeau, in fact, I'd say he was even more positive than Justin Trudeau. He said, hey guys, hey media friends, can you please just hold off on asking us about this just for another 6 months till we're through this election campaign? Okay, thanks. Bob Rae has not ruled it out. Justin Trudeau has not ruled it out. Do you really think that if the Liberals and New Democrats could seize power through a coalition, that they wouldn't? For TheRebel.media, I'm Ezra Levant.